think cloud is definitely in its infancy. And by cloud, I mean the whole notion of lots and lots of business and consumer services available over the internet. I mean, I think of cloud, as I said, as an internet of services. And but that's at the very beginning. And there'll be private clouds that companies do for their own use and for them to sell to their clients. And there'll be public clouds. And something that we are beginning to see that's very interesting is that in the more advanced economies, perhaps clouds will happen more with enterprises. They will build, like banks will build bank services, and the distribution companies will build, commerce services and things like that. But perhaps in the more emerging economies, they will be public sector clouds. By that I mean maybe services for small businesses and for economic development, like inventory management, accounting, and things like that for small businesses in the area, so they have access to all these advanced services without having to invest in them. And I can easily see regions, I don't know if they would do that in Poland, that decide to invest in these infrastructures and pay for it the same way they pay for electricity. I mean, they would charge the companies, but they wouldn't charge the companies for building it. They would charge them for using it. And that model may not work so well in the more advanced economies, although who knows, maybe the more advanced economies are becoming less government, less anti-government as they have been. So we'll see what happens. But this notion of services is a very powerful notion. I think all these issues about the transition from automation to business optimization and decision making is huge, because we have done a very good job in applying IT to repetitive tasks. Like you go to your ATM, you get cash, it's important, but it's a repetitive task. Now we have the wherewithal to start applying information-based optimization, which means gather lots of real-time information to make different systems work best, whether it's supply chains, traffic management, congestion management in traffics, healthcare of various sorts, and it requires real-time information, and it requires lots of analysis of that information. So that's a very different and innovative role. Same for decision support. At some level, the financial crisis we just went through was the fact that the people who were supposed to be running the show didn't know that there was a Category 5 hurricane coming at them. They didn't know. Well, that's a problem. You should know. And you can know if you start instrumenting things, analyzing, modeling, simulation. It's all very new, so not everything that I'm talking about, it will take a while to do it, but through new, I don't know if, I didn't hear Ambush's talk yesterday, if he talked about information virtualization and ideas like that, but it's been very difficult to gather information, but there have been a lot of advances to help us do that without having to build a data warehouse. So that's going to help a lot. So there are lots and lots of applications of technology to new kinds of problems. And that's what's so fascinating. You know, it puts a premium on innovation. I don't know how else to say it. In other words, let's say it's hard to ask it in the abstract, but if somebody said, okay, so what kinds of healthcare applications can you develop that would be particularly useful? I mean, I don't know the answer, but if that's the battle, then there'll be companies that are developed that will develop, companies that are born that will develop all kinds of interesting new healthcare applications. I don't know, maybe reminding you to take your medicines and doctor things. I don't know. I honestly don't know. And for doctors, there'll be applications, but that's what the competition for application developers should be, is come up with applications in industry after industry after industry that give people value. And every time you change the paradigm, and this is a new paradigm, it opens up the window of competition. That's what's so appealing here. That is, it opens up the window and you get a lot of innovation. But I really believe because of this issue, it will be transformative in all industries in a way that I don't know. I know it will be transformative. If you say exactly how, I don't know. It's disruptive transformation, and almost by definition, if something is disruptive, you don't know. Any more than if 12 years ago you have said, well, will the internet make it? Yeah, well, I think it will make it. How exactly will it? We can talk about some things, but most of it, we don't know the answer.
It's sort of a matter of so many ideas being thrown up there, and a certain percentage of them will
make it, and also because it's not a technology innovation, it's a marketplace innovation and a business model innovation. And marketplace innovations, you can only try them in the marketplace. Like eBay was a marketplace innovation. Who the hell knew that you could have online auctions like that? But yeah, remember, what the web has been is an internet of content. And we were able to take content and display it. That's what we did. And the interfaces, HTML and later XML, had to work on a page. A service is what SOA lets you do, which is link together applications, link together pieces of application, have workflows, and you couldn't do that. So the applications themselves remain monolithic. They were not decomposed. And by the way, the reason is we didn't have SOA. So we didn't have the whole notion of service architectures to let us break apart these applications into a collection of services that you can put together in different ways. That's what's new now, that we are able to do that. And we've also learned some of the things are more heavyweight, some like mashups, which are variants of SOA, are much more lightweight. So we are learning how to sort of compose applications using different things, and it's because we have the interfaces. But we didn't have them there. So I think of the web as an internet of content. Wonderful. We still have it, but now we can start looking at the notion of services and ask questions about, okay, if I'm going to decompose what a bank does into a collection of services that it offers, what the hell are they?